This would be Wednesday, September 3rd, and we're going to talk about the book report, which is all kinds of exciting.
Jackson.
You said. Turn it on.
Oh, you said it
For
again.
the...
Someone clap.
Well, if it's not me,
He did
it
clap
doesn't
again.
matter.
Have a special class.
You did clap twice.
Jackson is special.
So, for the yellow sheet that you now have in front of you, for those of you who are playing the home game, you can go on to the MrBroviac.com and find where it says book report, and then you can download the exact same thing for yourself. For those of you who are here, I'm going to run through and give you guys the explanation for what you're going to have to do. You're going to have a book by Friday that you are going to be showing me what book you are wanting to do for the book report. And then make sure you bring it on Friday. If you have one prior to Friday, go you! Bring it on Friday. And then you can bring it before that and show it to me. That's fine with me. So if you have one today, show it to me at the end of class. If you have it Thursday, show it to me then. If not, have it by Friday. And then that'll be the last day. And then Monday, if I'm nice, I might let you switch books, something like that, so you get an idea. As far as what kind of book it has to be, it has to be a 7th grade book. Everyone has different reading levels, so you find the book that works for you, and then we can talk about it and discuss it and go from there. The due date for this is not until the 8th of October, so we have a little over a month. It's a Wednesday, so in the little due date spot, you can put due date Wednesday, October 8th. Do you have to? Heck no! You're welcome to leave it blank. And then later on, when you come ask me when it's due, what am I going to tell you? No, not for a book
Read your
report.
paper.
Monday. Book reports are always due Monday, regardless of when it is. So if you wait until tomorrow to ask me, I'm going to say it's due Monday. And you're like, you just gave it to us. I'm like, yeah, have fun. And you spend all weekend working on it and then get done. And then you'll thank me later. So what you're going to do for this is, it's got 2 parts to it. For the book report, what you're going to do is, step 1, find a book that you don't hate. Begin reading book. Then you're going to do what's called a character collage. You are going to find a whole bunch of pictures from magazines or from the internet of pictures that connect to your character in some way. Things that represent that person. If your book was made into a movie, you cannot use any pictures from the movie, because I want you to use your imagination. And if you just go to the movie, there's no imaginating happening. So even if you were to read a Harry Potter book, and there are a number of books out there, or movies out there about Harry Potter, you can't use any of the ones with Daniel Radcliffe or anything like that. But how am I supposed to find a picture of a boy with a scar on his head? Take a picture of a random boy and just go right across there, and look at that. Now it's a scarred little boy. And so you can use it like that. Or just find a random boy and put, use your imagination, and put it on there. So no using stuff from the actual. You're going to go through. I'll give you the little poster board if you want it, but it's going to cost you either 5 B points or 1/4, or go out and buy your own. They're in these magical places called stores. And there's a certain size that has to be. It's 12 inches by 18 inches, which is this size. By the way, all this information is on the wordy side, so if you wanted to look on there, you can see whether I make up stuff and check it from there. You're going to put all of the pictures on here. You need to cover the entire poster with your pictures to cover the whole thing as you go through. All the pictures connect to either events in your book, or they're going to connect to the main character. Like, if there's a picture of these people who look like they're arguing, you would explain the fact that she fights with her sister all the time, and that makes her really upset because her sister's a jerky face or something like that. Or you could go on there and say, I don't know, the creepy people who stare at her, the fact that she doesn't get along with people at school, and all the popular girls stare at her as she walks down the hallway. I don't know, making up random stuff. But you're going to find things that connect to your character throughout it. Then, for each of those pictures, you have to explain to me why you chose them. It just has to be like a couple sentences, so I have some idea of what's going on. So you just would go through there and let's find out what picture was that. Picture of creepy girl staring, number 1. People's reaction to her problem. When Ashlyn goes into a trance, she zones out and creates attention to herself. And that's why you have the picture of the creepy people who stare at her. So you just have to go through there and explain each one. That's it. And I'm going to give you like a month to get it done. The reason I give you a while is that the whole picture part of it takes a long time. The good news is you can start it before you finish the end of your book. As long as you get through chapter 1 and something happens, you can go ahead and begin working on the book report. If you find out in chapter 1 that the main character is a werewolf, go find a picture of a dog. Put it on there. You're started. And probably put a picture of a moon on there, if I had to guess that. Maybe a couple people screaming, and look at that. Done. 3. And so that's what I'm looking for you to do. And then as you find out more stuff later, you just sort of slap it on there. And then it's easy as long as you don't leave it to the last minute. I like to start off with the, if you procrastinate, you will cry project. On this we start off. If you tried to wait till the weekend before, it will overwhelm you and drown you in a puddle of tears as you are trying to figure out how much to cram all on there and get it all done. As long as you just do like, I don't know, 4 or 5 a week, which is like 1 a day, then you should be absolutely fine. Mr. Brovicast, how many of those pictures do we have to have? That's a good question. Man, I wish there were directions right in front of you at the very bottom that would explain that exact thing. Wait, there is! So you can go down to the bottom and it tells you if you want a grade, that's how many you have to have minimum to make that grade. So if you want to have an A, you have to have a minimum of 30. If you go above and beyond 30, yep, it does get you points. The more you have, the more points that you can gain on that whole thing. My recommendation is if you're wanting to get an A, do at least 33, because there's every chance I'm going to get rid of some of yours on there if I think they're bad. If I come across one and you put like the character's name and you number it, that's one of the directions you have to do automatically. So if you try to make that one of your 30, you're going to lose a point and drop you down to 29. If you have 29, what's the highest grade you can get?
B.
Even if it's beautiful, the best you're going to get is a B. Maybe a B+. But if you want an A, so that's where I get to figure out that whole direction following thing as you go through. I'll answer your questions in one moment. Let's see. I've covered that. Make sure you have the character's name. By the way, this is a whole directions. I'm not covering all the directions. I figure at some point you can do this thing called reading. No blank space on the poster. If you have blank space, you're going to lose points. Where does it say? Number 7, computer typed words. Do I have any ones? I don't have very many kids who do computer typed words anyway, but I'm sure I can find one somewhere. Come on, computer typed words. Aha, there we go. So, I had some people who would go and type up like the word wizard because they couldn't find a picture of a wizard or they couldn't find the word wizard in a magazine. You can type up a word and put it on there, and that's fine. But you could have the maximum of 5 of those that you can do, and you can't do more than 5. The reason being is that if not, kids just wait until the night before the project is due and they just type up a bunch of words and print them off, and it's a big black and white poster full of words, and it looks ugly, and it looks like they spent all of 12 minutes on it. So I limit you to 5. But if you're trying to find some specific thing and you can't find it, you can use that word and then put it on there, and then that's fine for me. That covers that. The movie rule, you may not use any pictures from that movie that connects to it. As you go through and do the writing, make sure you either type it blue, black ink, and that covers most of it. Then real quick, we're going to hit the other light. And, focus. Pew. Aha. Then to show you some quick examples, I have, if you go to MrBrovicast.com and you go to the little homework area, that I have a file on there of examples. And you can go on there and take a look at past kids' good projects if you're having trouble coming up with ideas. And you're more than welcome to go on there and look. So something like this is fine. This is what I'm looking for you to do. And then you just have to have the write-up part of it. But the write-up's pretty easy. You just have to explain the different connections to it. Another one as you went through, because you have to number every picture so that I can connect it. If you don't number the pictures, then I have no idea what explanation goes with each one. You can number them by just writing on there, or you can come up with like fancy little stickers. I have some kids who print up numbers and glue them on there. It's fine as long as I have numbers that match each picture. And then that would be a little explanation thing that goes along with this. You can see it. It's just the same poster, just an explanation on it. Gives you more ideas there. They just wrote them in there in pen. Here, they use puffy stickers to write out something as opposed to typing it. And if you want to use puffy stickers as one of the 5 things you do, that's fine. They put straw over there. You can cut out words from magazines. You can do as many cutout words as you want. So if you have magazines and you go and cut them out, I have no problem with that. And so I've had kids do an entire project with just words they cut out that connect back to their book, and that's fine with me too. All I'm looking for you to do is show me that you read the book, you understood what happened in it, and you can sort of explain in a creative way how it's going to connect. Same thing with little explanations. Another explanation thing. You can handwrite it. That's fine with me. I have no problem with that. As long as you write in a language I can read. Then this will have a bit more issues if you have blank space. You want to try and find ways to cover it with pictures, because it looks like you start off strong, and then the night before we kind of ran out of energy. And then bad ones, I mean, when you do that, they did a book called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and there's a movie called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. They went to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the movie.com, and just went print, 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 done. And they're like, what? There's directions. And then you can tell there's a difference between that and then the good ones. Don't hand draw pictures, because once again, it looks like you're waiting until the bus ride on the way to school. I don't even know. They did a Star Wars book. Yeah, StarWars.com. Printy, 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 printy. And then there they just typed up words. That was also the night before. More night before. And then there you go. Yay! Alright, now if you have questions, we'll move through. Yes.
If you start a book on like Monday night, can you use that book?
It's fine.
Okay.
Just come talk to me. Abigail.
You said you can only do 5 pictures on the paper. It says no more than 20%, 1 out of 5, which is 6.
If you do 30, you can do 6. If you want to negotiate for that, that's fine for me. It's just usually math hurts kids' heads. Yes, dear.
What if your printer doesn't work?
Then you're going to use magazines. Adam.
So I was waiting on a sequel for my library because my mom was going to go and pick it up the next day from work. So since nobody went to work Monday, we didn't get around to going to the library because some of our
So you have till Monday.
So, yeah, I understand, but I mean, like, no, I don't. Anyway, I didn't have my library book that night, so I read that, like, Weird But True book, the book that has, like, 300 facts, and I cut the half that I actually read in half. Is that okay for me to count?
For your reading log, yes. Your book report, no.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes. Okay, then yeah, for that reading log, sure. That'd be cute.
I'm like 16 pages into a book. Can I use it for my book?
Probably. Just as far as like the purchase, bring them to me. As long as I'll take a look at them, that's fine for me. I have no problem with it. Chloe.
Well, I started a book like last Friday, but it was really good, so I read like 120 pages of it. So could I still use that one?
Come talk to me later.
Okay.
This kid.
Can I use one of your books?
Yeah, that's fine. May.
Are we allowed to use a book that we've already finished?
Yes. And then I get to give you a grade that I've given another kid.
Oh.
In other words, can I cheat and not do the work? And the answer is sure. I just have no problem giving you an F.
see us be reading it?
That's fine. Then you'll see me giving you an F. Okay. I mean, essentially your question is, Mr. Brovicast, can I be lazy? Are you going to torture me? Yes, of course I am. Mr. Brovicast, how are you going to find out? Much like we talked about with the reading log one, there's every chance I won't find out. You just have to worry about your soul burning later because you're a horrible, horrible person. As long as you're okay with that, that's fine. And then also realize, coming up in less than a month, we have a party where I get to meet your parents. They all get to come to this big pizza thing, and I get a chance to talk to them there, and that's where we get to talk about fun things. And my parents aren't coming. That's fine. I'm sure I'll bump into them somewhere. And that's usually how I find out, is from parents who email me and talk to me because I send out that weekly email, and they're like, thank you for letting my daughter read her favorite book for this book report. She's read it 4 times. It was so nice of you. And I'm like, you are so welcome. Because when I find out, I don't tell you I know until the day the project's due. When the day the project's due and you print it in, I go, oh, I can't take that. And you go, why? And I go, because you're a cheater. And you go, what? And I go, rip, sprinkle. And while you're crying, I'm like, oh, I feel bad. But you're a cheater, so I don't. And so that's always the fun game we get to play. Mr. Brovicast, have you ever? Yes, dear.
What if you read the book like a long, long time ago and you don't remember?
Then go ahead and read it again. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
So like I'm reading this book, but I've never read it before. Is that okay?
Yes, that's called reading a book. That's what reading a book is. Now you're just freaking out. I know. Yeah, I'm all twitchy. Time for the back learning soon. All right, so we're good. I'm gonna stop there.